How about now?
We're live!
We're live!
Hi, and welcome back to Is It That Bad? Of course, we've got my lovely co-host.
Hello.
The boss, Annie.
I'm here.
How you doing?
I'm hanging in there. I am doing mighty fine. And how are you guys?
Not liking this weather, but we're here to talk
brutal.
about a fantastic film. My choice, The Stuff, Larry Cohen's masterpiece from 1985.
It's good.
It's a masterpiece.
It's so good.
Masterpiece of cinema.
It is. Okay, cheesy horror aside, it is a really interesting speculation on capitalism and kind of brand overhaul and how brand and consumerism consumes you.
Mm-hmm. It's like the tagline goes, are you eating the stuff or is the stuff eating you?
I think this is eating my teeth.
Probably. You should probably stop eating that.
There's cat fur.
Why is there cat fur in it?
How did you get cat fur in your stuff?
Well, got
I
3
think it was
cats,
on the spoon.
So probably.
To make it even worse, stuck.
Which stuff are you guys talking about in the year 1985? Ricky Marcinet. There's a movie called The Stuff, which was directed by Larry Cohen, and it's available on Amazon Prime right now.
It's worth it. It's a fun watch.
It's fantastic.
Mm-hmm.
So basically, the story behind The Stuff was Larry Cohen wanted to make a new film, and he was looking around, and all he saw were advertisements for soda pop and cigarettes and this clothing line and that clothing line. And it was just how people are so immersed in brands and culture and advertising. And they're so just kind of consumed and controlled by what's popular and what's this, what's that. And, oh, this spokesmodel says that this is the only thing that, that she wears. So, of course, you're going to go after that thing because you want that kind of lifestyle.
Oh, so, yeah, why not? Totally. If someone who's paid to tell you to buy something is paid to tell you to buy something, you're going to want to buy it. Or if I see Mark eating this stuff, I go, man, I wonder what he's eating. What the fuck is Mark eating?
What the fuck
and then
is
I
Mark?
go out and I buy what he's eating,
And then you look at me and like, why the fuck do you eat that?
Yeah, and then when I actually see Mark, I recoil in disgust and we avoid eye contact at all costs.
Hey, how are you? Doing great?
Hey, man. Hope all is well.
I haven't seen it in a while.
Yeah, you're telling me. But yeah, no, I really think that this is an interesting and very self-aware use of media, even for its time, where a lot of these movies nowadays are really trying to be self-aware in the way that Larry Cohen takes it on. And I really like the quote where he says that his main inspiration was a consumerism and corporate greed. And it was damaging products that are being sold. Like you were saying, Kat, how he's always seeing these advertisements around him. And he thought that was harming people, And he noticed one thing that struck me the most that really ties into this movie is that he says that food being pulled from the shelves because they were being hazardous to people and they were marketed as being hazardous to people, which if The Stuff did not have a really smart tagline, that could have been another really sharp way of just taking this goofy horror movie. It's a lot of fun to watch, but I think that he really understands even 30 years ago, 35 years ago.
Yeah, something like that.
Before, we've been stuck, I think, depending on where you're from, you're stuck in this continuous loop of constant bombardment of advertising and marketing and selling and buying. Everything is instant gratification. And I think The Stuff does a really nice job with showing how tangible items are, you don't possess them and your possessions possess you.
Very well put.
Thank you.
That-
I'm a marketing student, so I'm a total hypocrite.
Oh my
I'm gonna
god.
go into like some meeting someday and say something very close to that, and then try to sell whoever's listening, Cutco knives or some shit.
Oh,
Mark used to work for Cutco
no,
Knives.
No.
I didn't.
You basically did. What did you work for? What company did you work for?
Did you work for like Vector?
I don't know. It didn't really pay anything.
It was a pyramid scheme of like knives and selling knives to
Oh, yeah.
everyone.
That's such an interesting pyramid scheme.
It's okay. I still have knives.
No, there you go. You get a win. You get to buy the knives.
I didn't buy them.
You get to buy the knives from yourself.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Still using them.
So back to the stuff. So the stuff itself, originally, the way he got the money from the studios to make this film was they wanted a big horror film from Larry Cohen. He instead wanted to make a horror comedy with the satirical edge to it. And he just decided to make the movie he wanted with the actors that he wanted. There were a few compromises that he kind of went with as far as like the casting. But I think overall, fantastic job with casting.
Oh, yeah. Very impressive use of casting. I think that everyone there was very into their roles. For lack of better terms, I think that there was a lot of involvement from the actors compared to other horror movies that we've watched on Isn't That Bad, where these actors are there to get slashed and killed and then they're done. They collect their $80,000 and dip,
And another thing that I think is really kind of looked down upon with this film in particular is people think like, oh, cheap horror film.
Yeah.
But they don't think about all of the technical and practical effects that are going on throughout the entire film.
Do you know the budget that was used for the stuff?
Right off the top of my head, I think it was like 1.5 million.
Okay, that's still a lot of money to put into
Everything.
a production. Compared to these other cheap, quote unquote, cheap horror movies that use a shoestring budget by choice, or they rely on a lot of lesser quality to put their film across. Whereas you can tell that for the 80s and being a interesting use of the horror genre, there's a lot of really intelligent moves being made by Larry Cohen and his team.
Yep.
What are you eating?
More stuff. It takes control of you.
Oh my gosh. Okay.
Well, if you really want to know, it's chipotle sauce with green peppers and turkey.
Okay.
Chipotle isn't like the brand Chipotle or a general Chipotle sauce.
Like spicy chipotle.
Oh,
Spicy
yum.
Chipotle.
But
Are you-
sriracha goes on everything.
Oh, sriracha's so good.
Mhm.
Do you think that sriracha would be more addicting than the stuff? Or do you think that the stuff has a bit of an upper hand because it's so sweet? And it reminds me so much of Fluffernutter, or the marshmallow fluff.
Right.
Because
Well-
just the consistency of it and the look of it.
I would think that the stuff would have the upper hand because it comes out of the ground naturally. And
Okay. That's
it
right.
was
It's organic
supposed
source.
to be the Earth's way of kind of like taking on humankind and trying to like dwindle down our numbers.
No. It's
trying to
healthy for you
control
because
us.
It's organic.
Remember, it's all natural. There's 0 calories. It tastes good and it doesn't mark.
It comes from the earth and returns you back to it.
Dude, that mom was so psycho.
She was so like just geeked the entire time. And for what? I mean, I know why, but like,
Like, I understand it was one part like Invasion of the Body Snatchers, the way like
Yeah.
this stuff would take over, and honestly like hollow out people and turn them into mindless like
I kind of
stuffies,
liked that though. I kind of liked
you
how
know?
clever that was. Again, I really do enjoy the use of upfront symbolism that Cohen uses and how uncensored he remains to be.
Mm-hmm.
I was reading a little bit about the film, and apparently, did you guys watch Stranger Things season 3?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So when the scene where there's the mall scene where Elle and Max are running around the mall or whatever, and they go by the movies,
Mm-hmm.
the stuff is one of the movies playing at the mall, playing at the Starcourt Mall.
That's cool.
Yeah.
And then it
They were
says
also-
here. Go ahead.
I would say they were also going to run into slight continuity errors because they were going to have Edward Scissorhands playing.
Really?
But then it was also, well, because isn't the main actress in Edward Scissorhands?
Winona Ryder. Yes. Okay.
They were almost going to have that in there as well, but that would have been continuity error because she's the mom in that era.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I like that idea. I like how they play with that and really hone into the 80s, which I think it's kind of cool that it's horror borrowing from horror.
Mm-hmm.
And then it says that the chocolate chip,
Seamus.
the chocolate chip was a rip on Famous Amos cookies or Famous Amos. And I recently learned the story behind Famous Amos is where it was a African-American gentleman who created the cookie and sold it. And the guy on the packaging is the creator of the cookie himself. And I feel that it's really interesting that chocolate chip cookie or chocolate chip Charlie was used from that packaging that has a rich history behind it. There's a lot of really neat external forces and like a lot of outside, just really cool ideas that come in and play with the stuff. Was there anything that you would change about this movie?
Before I answer that, just to add on to Chocolate Chip Charlie and Famous Amos, this film kind of predicted what would happen to Famous Amos as well.
You think so?
Because Chocolate Chip Charlie, sorry, I can't English
It's
Chocolate Charlie ends up getting voted out of his own company by his shareholders.
Mm.
And basically the same exact thing happened to Famous Amos a few years after this.
Yeah,
He basically just got demoted to just being a spokesperson and lost his company.
That's kind of sad for Amos, you know?
It was very sad. But it's just kind of crazy that this was a few years before that.
Yeah.
The same exact thing happened to this character who was also, did you know that Chocolate Chip Charlie was supposed to be Arsenio Hall?
I did know that, yes.
That was Larry Cohen's choice, but they wanted to go with a more famous face. Also, Chocolate Chip Charlie has the most memorable death in the entire film with his head getting like the jaw and everything. Like that is nuts.
The use of gore in this is very jarring.
Yeah.
Where I felt like I was getting really invested in the plot at hand. And I kind of forgot I was watching a horror movie. You know, and then something would happen. Like the jaw would come apart. I'm like, whoa, that's scary, you know? It really catches you off guard. Ooh, I don't like that.
It gets very serious and then it gets very silly. And that's one of the things I really love about this.
I do like how silly this is.
But to answer your question, Annie, if there was one thing I'd change or something that I think could have been better, I feel like the studio should have backed off and let Larry Cohen have more control of his project. Because some of the things that he did, he filmed these very elaborate ads for the film that were supposed to be just playing throughout. and spent a lot of money into these ads. Like, these ads were big budget things just for this film. The majority of the money just went for these fake ads for the film. And they didn't want them playing throughout. They didn't want them playing right after the end credit scene. And then he's like, okay, well, if I can't just play them here, I can't just play them there. Then he wanted to play them as the ad campaign for the movie.
Right.
And he wanted to like show them months leading up to it and everything. But they didn't want that to happen either. I feel like that was a huge wasted opportunity.
I think that would have been a really fun, even like a in-house Easter egg where you're not really alluding to another movie or another work of Larry Cohen, but you're alluding to the movie itself with these self-aware advertisements that you said that he was making, or these advertisements that were which are constructed with so much thought and care behind them. I think breaking that fourth wall in a way where you're not speaking directly to your audience, but you're still kind of stepping away from the plot at hand, that's a really neat way to kind of play with the structure of whatever you're working with. You don't really see that as much anymore. I know WandaVision is an exception for people who have been keeping up with that, where there's an episode, or in every episode, there's an advertisement or two where they're pitching whatever product it may be, and some of them are really unsettling. But
with the yogurt,
which one?
The
yogurt one.
The yogurt one was traumatizing.
That was horrifying. I didn't like that one.
The poor kid starved trying to open the yogurt. It was very
yogurt.
Yoga for survivors.
It was very uncomfortable.
I was so
survivors.
But I think seeing Larry Cohen do something like that, where, you know, he was kind of pioneering that idea where you can take like a quote unquote break within your own movie, even though it's moving the product along or moving your film along, just a little bit differently. I think you make a really good point by saying that should have been included.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. But the film overall, I feel like there's so many like random things that you don't think about that I picked up on even rewatching it for this. Like some of the references throughout, like, oh, you know, this random militia guy doesn't want Chocolate Chip Charlie on his show. It's like, oh, you know, is it a race thing? Is it this? Is like, I was like, right. Oh, okay, we're gonna have that moment in this, and it's like, oh, I didn't expect that again, but
I think there's a lot of surprises that come along with this movie that aren't, you know, they are open to catching you off guard. I really didn't expect, you know, Chocolate Chip Charlie to have such a tragic ending, you know? Yeah. I was like, oh, there he goes. And I kind of sat there and I was like, okay, now what? What do we do now, you know? But I did notice that there was a lot of continuity errors within the film. Like that scene where Mo and Charlie are in the post office and like they're talking and it's daytime. And then they're outside and it's pitch black. I'm like, okay, did they spend the entire day inside of here? What's going on?
It's a video game realm. It changes everything.
It is a video game. Yeah, right. You.
Saying.
I thought that was very interesting because that's such a big thing to pay attention to. And there's just a lot of noticeable small things, you know, boom mics in the way, set and crew. The studio is there, you know, they're catching the studio and the camera. There's shadows on the doors and stuff like that. A lot of silly errors that could have easily been resolved by an editing team. I don't know. I don't control the how the film was edited.
I seriously think that
he
adds
spent
a
all
little
the
more
money on
to
the
it.
ads.
I think he did.
Well, so if you dive into the dark abyss of wonder that is Larry Cohen's films, you'll know it's very common for there to be issues like that, and like just even going completely off script.
Oh yeah, no, there's so much going on that I think it's you feel like you're being pulled in like 6 different directions at once by this movie, and I don't know where to look. You know, where my attention is being demanded in so many different ways. I'm like, okay, like no, you know, all right, Larry, let's slow down, let's relax. But yeah, no, there's a lot to take in. Would you say that this is your favorite Larry Cohen movie, or is there other ones out there? Are there other ones out there?
There's
that
a
are
lot
better
of
than
really
stuff?
good ones, but I would say that this is, I wouldn't say my guilty pleasure, because let's face it, I have no shame when it comes to films.
I was gonna say,
I love
if you
bad
have a
movies.
guilty pleasure, that'd be amazing.
I feel no guilt, no shame when it comes to movies whatsoever. But I would say that, will you stop? This is probably the one that I feel the most love towards personally. And like if I'm looking for a silly Larry Cohen film or something like that, I'm probably going to go towards this. If I'm looking for something a little bit different with a much scarier monster, I'd probably go for like Q or something like that.
Yeah. I think this was a fun way to dull down how scary a monster can be in a horror movie. I don't think you need the visual frightening image. You know, I don't think I need to see like this grotesque looking creature or this very mangled and marred 600-year demon or something like that, you know, scaring me. I think that having the stuff kind of take over everyone and zombifying everyone was very simplistic and minimalistic in a way. But it goes to show like how deeply it can affect the cast that's being involved. Like I'm not having a seance around my stuff, you know, I'm eating it and I'm enjoying it and it's just taking me over. Legit is on Amazon Prime, correct?
Yeah.
I've just been telling you for the last 2 years to watch it, Ledge.
No,
Maybe you'll watch it after this.
he's not going
Maybe.
to.
I know
He
he
might.
has Prime. He could watch it.
He's always watching anything else except for what we tell him to watch.
He's got power now. He can watch it.
So
It's been 36 years. I can watch it.
He can watch it. Oh my god.
Larry Cohen is dead. Watch it for him.
I got him to watch Motel Hell, but I can't get him to watch the stuff. There were feet in Motel Hell, Legend, and you
That's
still
his
watched it.
fear. That's his fear.
That's his biggest fear is feet.
There are no feet in the stuff, Ledge. We're gonna let you know
There
right
are
now.
no feet. There are
It's
no
okay.
feet. Oh my gosh.
You got shoes.
So there's a
He's got
lot of
shoes.
like
I don't know if that'll do anything to you, but
there's a lot of really like crazy things that happen behind the scenes.
I would
of
love
this
to.
film.
You've been talking about it. I'm really interested
So-
as to hearing what this is.
One of the scenes that we kind of touched on a little bit before was the little boy's family and them like trying to force him to eat the stuff.
Yeah.
And they've become stuffies by now. They've become stuffies by now. These like brainless, mindless zombies that are being hollowed out, controlled by the stuff. And he's attempting to trick them, so he eats shaving cream. He empties out one of the containers and he eats shaving cream. And when he gets caught and he's running away, and he ends up running into Moriarty, getting in his vehicle and everything. Moriarty saves him, and he throws up all over his back seat. And apparently there were so many constant script changes, neither actor knew what to actually say. And that entire scene was just ad-libbed on the fly. And he's like,
Cool.
I threw up on your seat. I'm so sorry, sir. And he's like, what? He's like, I ate shaving cream today. He's like, well, sometimes you just gotta eat some shaving cream. And he just keeps going on about shaving cream and how sometimes you just gotta eat some shaving cream. And he just takes his boy with him. There's no like really like, this is what's happening. Can I save my family? Anything like that. It's just sometimes you gotta eat shaving cream. And I think that's the funniest line in the entire movie because it's like, yep, sometimes you gotta eat shaving cream. It is what it is. It's gonna make you sick, but you gotta battle the stuff. So other crazy things. So we find out that this stuff originally comes from the ground. And it's discovered during a snowy scene between two guys, right? So there was a huge snowstorm that hit and blanketed this entire area. And they weren't ready to film in snow in production. This was not planned whatsoever. But Larry Cohen's like, this is perfect. Snow is white. The stuff is white. So he completely changed everything and told them they were filming. Some of their equipment actually blew up because they had technical difficulties. They had electrical issues. They had a few like electrical fires that happened because of the snow, because they weren't ready to film in the snow, and they're like, we really shouldn't be filming out here, but they did it anyway because it's Larry Cohen.
No, there's no stopping.
Like, this is what we're doing. So that's probably another reason why it was so.
I like the nerve. I like the gusto.
He just went with it and he loved it. Another really crazy thing that happened, just like another like could have been really bad moment. The scene where you see Moriarty on the boat and he's headed out to that large yacht or whatever. So they loaded up the actors. They loaded up a Steadicam, boom mics, everything, and like cast and crew on that little boat in order to get to the yacht, right? To film that small sequence.
Right, yeah.
It was so weighted down, it almost sank when they were trying to get there. So they had to like book it off this boat because it was literally sinking underneath their feet on the waves. They lost that boat in production. They could not salvage it, which is so crazy. And it's like that's more money right there.
Is there like a behind the scenes reel?
There probably is. I know that there's an Arrow cut of this film.
Okay.
I don't own the Arrow cut of it. I need to because I know there's a lot of like behind the scenes nonsense.
We're gonna find it.
It's probably.
I think you should. I would love to see this because I just want to see like the. I want to see the boat go down. I want to see all that gas.
Oh my gosh.
Well, when you do, just remember, heart go on, Celine Dion.
Hey, there was room for both Jack and Rose.
There was. They could have taken turns. Damn it.
It was.
They could have.
It was buoyant. That oak door was so big and buoyant. It could have held 4 more people.
I'm just saying, you both could have been like partially on it, or like you could have taken turns.
Why did she say I never let go as soon as she let go?
And then she let go.
Then she just let him go. I guess he didn't go through the water. Oh my god. Oh, Titanic. And they want to make another a physical Titanic. They want to release it.
They do have a Titanic too.
They actually did make a physical one, and you can actually get tickets for it.
I remember it's Maiden
Voyage. Might have to copy the Titanic too.
Let's wait a couple years before trying that.
Well, no. See, it's safe now because there's no more icebergs.
Oh, that's true. Global warming, everyone. Global warming.
Global warming.
Too soon? Not yet.
Maybe. It's like 100 years.
So,
but no, it sounds like the stuff behind the scenes was just wild. It sounds like it's wilder than the actual movie itself.
That's nothing. That's nothing. The scene where they're filming. Yes, there's more. The scene where they're filming. They're in like the fashion showcase or whatever with all the models with the stuff. That was actually a furrier showcase.
Oh.
Like a very high-end fur shop, and his actual physical models and everything were there, and he was just like friends with Larry Cohen and was like, yeah, you can film here for free, you can use my models, it's all good. But that's not the crazy part. The crazy part was it was in the same building as the Teamsters in that area. Mafia? And yeah, pretty much, but This was a non-union
that.
film, that was being filmed in the same building as the Teamsters office there. So the Teamsters, a bunch of thugs, show up inside this showcase where there's models and cast and crew and Larry Cohen, the director, and they ask who's in charge. And everyone just pushes Larry Cohen into the front of the line. Like, nobody wants to deal with
They're sacrificing him for the Teamsters.
apparently one big guy just gets right in Larry Cohen's face and tells him to dance for him, little man. And almost on cue, apparently he broke out into song and dance, singing I Wish I Were a Teamster. And it was in the same vein as like Fiddler on the Roof, I Wish I Were a Rich Man. And he actually like jumped around and danced around the entire room for these men. And by the end of it, I guess all of these guys thought he was the craziest guy ever. And they loved him. And they told him to go ahead and make his movie. And he didn't have a single issue with the Teamsters after that.
If you can win over the mob, you can win over anyone.
I'm just saying, you shook it for the mobsters and they loved you.
The mob.
They loved you.
Oh my gosh. That's so hard to believe because but I love that story because it's really such an odd overlap. Like it's two people or two entities that you would never expect to cross paths. That's so funny.
Well, all of my Amazon account says is here. There's a new bullet resistant vest that you can buy.
Oh my gosh, you look up the weirdest stuff.
Bullet
Oh yeah, here's another thing. So this is not actually to do with the movie itself, but when you look up the stuff, the first thing that comes up on Amazon is this stuff for dogs. Oh, you can't see it for some reason.
Let me see. I'll show you how you can see it.
Take the brightness down or something.
Take the brightness down.
If you watch the stuff,
Take the brightness down.
There's a scene where you see a dog has clearly eaten the stuff, and we all saw how bad that was. Why are we marketing things for the dogs?
There.
Oh no! I love my puppers, but literally the very first thing on there. Oh, sorry.
Detox drink. Yeah,
No.
the stuff drunk kit.
Detox drink.
That was like the fifth one. There you go. First one's the stuff for dogs.
It's gonna turn the brightness right back up on it. Oh, yeah.
Whatever. You get what I'm saying here.
Unless I turn my auto brightness off.
There you go.
The right stuff.
No, it's the stuff.
The right stuff.
We type in the stuff Blu-ray. The first thing on there is the right stuff, and then there's the stuff. Oh my gosh. All right.
Your poor FBI guy is going to be so confused.
Who, me?
Because you're on a list somewhere. Guaranteed.
Oh, no.
Well, if you look up bulletproof vest and then the stuff.
No, bullet resistant.
Oh, I'm sorry.
There's no such thing as bulletproof.
So is it like an odd that you could be shot and struck by a bullet?
Only if it's armor piercing, yeah.
No.
Or if it's a class 3.
I know nothing about this, but I will definitely take your word.
Noted. It's okay. Just remember,
moving on.
Remember, you cannot look up pressure cookers or backpacks at the same time. Otherwise, they will show up.
Oh,
Probably.
Yeah, you're right.
Oh, no, there is no probably.
Yeah.
I'll do it right now.
No, we're not going to do that.
We're not going to build
We're not going to do that.
What we're not going to do, Mark,
No,
is
continuing on the stuff. Mark, put your phone down. This stuff. So this is from the team behind this. It's the same team that did They Live. They also did The Neverending Story, as well as a number of just spectacular films that you would not necessarily think of. But we got into the practical effect. They stole the same kind of concept of the spinning room effect that they used in Wes Craven's A Nightmare on Elm Street to get the stuff to kind of like move around and move up the wall and everything.
Right. Yeah. And I think it's really just very clever how there's a lot of borrowing from past horror or past thrillers, and it just kind of influences it even further.
We had a lot of miniature use
Mhm.
going on. One thing that I thought was just crazy was the amount of different things that are actually the stuff in this movie.
Oh my god.
So the stuff in this is anything from melted ice cream,
Mhm.
yogurt, shaving cream. At one point, it's ground up fish parts. That's just gnarly.
That's the most bizarre one on this list so far, because I could see shaving cream, I can see yogurt, I could see ice cream.
When it turns into like that blob and it like shoots out through the building, that's fish.
Oh, gross.
Yeah, and apparently it ended up on
Very
everyone.
Sounds
And like
tasty.
people were jumping in the local river to try to get the smell off them.
That
You
just
can't
sounds
get rid of-
miserable.
You can't get rid of the smell of fish. It takes months. Right, Katie?
Ugh. We're not going to discuss
Heck
that.
yeah.
Alaskan times. Alaskan
Did
times.
you know they actually made the Titanic 2 in 2010?
Oh, wow.
The hell were they thinking? We already know it sank.
Spoiler.
What else? It's also rubber, cement, epoxy. I have to think if I forgot any other ones.
Shaving cream.
Did I already say shaving cream?
Did you already
You
say what?
said, yeah, ice cream,
Melted ice cream, yogurt,
No.
shaving cream,
yogurt, epoxy,
fish
fish.
parts. I think fish
Uh,
parts is so gnarly.
Liquid cement.
Yeah.
So how would that, with the liquid cement, how long does it take for it to dry and solidify?
Hours.
So they needed to use epoxy and liquid cement for when they
Mhm.
did the burning
Okay.
scenes.
Right, I know what
And,
you're talking about.
That's just like a basic one of the composite basic things just for burning scenes, just so you don't actually burn your actors. And if you don't believe that how scary that can actually be, just listen to any of Kane Hodder's lectures on him being horribly burned and what all that entailed. Just brutal time. But
I really admire these people who are willing to become so involved in their stunts and like light themselves on fire, or become so involved with fire or freezing temperatures or whatever. You have to be absolutely fearless to do that. Like I get it, money is money, but stunt people, especially in horror movies, horror stunt people are like the most insane individuals out there.
you kind of have to be, though.
You gotta do.
You kind of have to be everything that you do. I mean,
Really?
a lot of respect, especially stunt doubles and stunt coordinators and special effects people. It's an art.
There's a lot that goes into it. Would you say that the practical effects outweigh in the stuff the physical stunts and dramatics?
So me, I'm always a huge practical person.
Mhm.
I think the stuff in this is so well done. I mean, it kind of just becomes a character in its own.
And
Just
it is,
watching how
it's personified in its own right.
blob
People are fearing it as if it's
turns
a
in.
thing. Yeah.
And I mean, I definitely feel like it was handled quite well in this film, especially. And I personally would like to see this film remade. However, I know Larry Cohen said that he never wanted to see this film remade.
Well, now he won't.
Oh, too soon.
Oh no.
It was because he was
You mean like Steve Irwin's sunscreen line?
Mark.
So
Push. But
This is why I don't talk.
he was worried that they would turn it into CGI.
which is a totally realistic fear to have, because in this day and age, I would be amazed, or I would not even be amazed, but I would be truly shocked if it were to be remade, if the stuff was not a CGI object, compared to the other ways that they could, again, reimagine the stuff to be. CGI is very commonly used and almost overused in movies today, that I think that it's a bit overkill, and I see why Cohen is so wary of potential remakes.
And it's just like, honestly, how far can you go where yogurt is supposed to be scary? I mean, what are you really going to do with CGI to make it so?
That would definitely take away from the charm of the stuff being feared for what it does instead of what it is, I think that this stuff itself is not the fear monger of the situation, but people seeing how it affects them and how it truly takes over them is where that fear comes from, and where that horror element comes from. Where I think if it was to be taken over today, like Blumhouse or Lionsgate or what have you, Warner Brothers, and they tried to, Universal's big on horror as well, and they tried to reinvent this idea that Larry Cohen came up with, or even reinvent the stuff through maybe a different type of film where it came into play, I think that it would become more personified and more of a thing than an idea, if that makes sense.
Chris Barrett's got something in the chat. So he says, yogurt is scary if it doesn't keep you regular. Also, we have Chung saying he rented this stuff with his uncle when it came out. Fun movie for the time. Yeah, there's a guy literally in a scene just starts eating stuff out of the ground.
He sure does. And he's so shameless about it too. He's like, all right, here we go. I'm like, all right, here we go. I'm kind of given, I have cottage cheese and yogurt and sour cream in my fridge, and I'm kind of giving it the side eye whenever I open the door.
Technically, yogurt is alive.
Cultures, yes.
Mm-hmm. They even discuss it in the film itself, that we eat a lot of things that are alive.
For my fellow kombucha drinkers out there, you drink those cultures and it's disgusting, and it's
I have kombucha in the fridge. I do.
Mark looks like someone that makes his own kombucha.
We don't talk about it.
We don't talk about it.
But it's one of those. It's a really nice dramatization of those cultured foods that we eat. We don't really think about eating living things.
Although,
that's good. I'm going to keep thinking about it.
Wait, does it hurt? Does it feel pain?
Does it?
That you're sticking a spoon in it. Does it feel it?
Does the stuff feel pain? Does the stuff have a nervous system?
Hey, the stuff booked it out of there when they were gonna fight the stuffies. You saw all those stuffies were all hollowed out.
They just
They booked it out of there. It was scared.
It got out of there. Oh man.
But now that I'm thinking about it, the closest thing to a remake we have for the stuff is probably that short for Love, Death, and Robots. And it was the day that yogurt took over.
Oh yeah.
In the short, yogurt actually takes over the world, and it's literally just little pints of yogurt, and it's the funniest thing ever.
I have to watch that. I have to get into that show, but just so I can get into that reference and appreciate that more, because I like the stuff. I think isn't that bad? It's not great. Thinking of it in hindsight, Oh, bacteria doesn't feel
Does
pain.
not feel pain. Okay.
Are you sure, Chris? Because it is alive still.
Did you ask the bacteria, Chris?
Did you look under the
Did the
microscope?
bacteria talk to you?
I have yogurt in the fridge. Should I open the lid and ask it?
Bacteria
Feels pain.
feel
No.
pain. Does bacteria feel pain? Let's see what Google has to say.
Because Google knows everything.
Google knows everything.
It knows more
Yes.
about me than I know about myself.
Bacteria
That is true.
cannot feel pain, but it can respond to some stimulus, including chemicals and light.
Huh. So does it move?
I would assume so.
He says he knows.
Chris.
All right, so
How far is Connecticut?
the stuff.
The stuff. I liked this one. I think this was a nice choice. I see why you were so excited to watch it again. This is a really fun horror movie. Very meta horror movie compared to what we've seen before. More sophisticated, except maybe not in its writing, where we have Moriarty talking about eating shaving cream.
Eating shaving cream. Sometimes
Shaving cream. The writing in this one was, I was like, okay, this is very arbitrary dialogue. I'll get by, but like, I think the concept itself outweighs the flaws within the movie. I don't think it's that bad. It's not fantastic. It's not the most riveting piece of film I've ever seen. It's not awful.
it's
you know,
not a
it's-
turkey attacking people on
It's
Thanksgiving.
not. It's not things killing. I think it's in the spectrum. It's like right in the solid middle of, I would definitely show this to someone who would enjoy it. I think it's very clever. I think it's fun to watch. You can make fun of it. You can poke fun at it, but it's kind of looking for that because it's a comedy horror. It's asking you to lighten up a little bit. It's asking you to enjoy it. It's asking not to take itself too seriously, even though there are a lot of more consumerism beware underneath that surface.
This is kind of like grade A horror compared to, me throwing a bunch of sharks at you. But I was really excited about sharing this with you. This is
Well, thank you. I really liked this one. I think this was one of the horror movies, besides like all 8 of Leprechauns, where I'm like, this cannot get worse. And then it does, where I had a really fun time just kind of sitting back and watching this. And I like it. I think it's definitely going on my horror list.
there we
Horror
go.
watch.
I made a fan of the stuff.
I'm now a fan of the stuff.
You want to know the best collab?
1985's the stuff.
I want to see a MASH movie together. The Stuff and The Room.
I'm so glad you're still talking about The Room.
Got to bring it all the way back.
Is it going to be a prequel of Johnny eating the stuff and going out on a date with Lisa? And then she tries to make him a drink, and he's like, "No, Lisa, I just eat my stuff." Tell me why so. Make it happen. It's just a short of you just eating the stuff. No, Lisa, I just eat my stuff.
I said money for
Oh, hi, Mark.
Hi, Mom. It's so bad.
I think The Room was way worse.
It was so much worse.
Oh, hi, Mark. Oh my.
Your nose, Lisa. You got to eat shaving cream.
Sometimes you eat shaving cream, Lisa.
Danny, go eat more of the stuff.
Danny, I only have one thing of stuff.
Oh, God.
Oh gosh.
Oh my gosh.
Freaking Danny.
This is a crossover I didn't know it
Freaking
needed,
rude.
but I'm really happy.
Freaking
Like it's
rude.
happening.
You know, we can roll.
Chris says that Larry eats the stuff thinking it's Activia.
Yeah, that's not going to keep you regular.
Every time I think of Activia, I think of Jamie Lee Curtis, and I think that she just offered Michael Myers some Activia, they would not be making more Halloween movies.
Here,
He's hangry.
He is. He wants that stuff.
Look,
You know-
I'm not me when I'm hungry either. Okay, I turn very hangry, and I accept that.
Well, then she should have wised up and given him a Snickers with peanut butter in it,
You're not yourself when you don't have a Snickers.
right? But peanut butter Snickers are even better.
Yeah, but you know that Jamie Lee Curtis has that Activia, like
She's got that
Envelope
Snatch
everywhere.
Activia waist. Like, that's her brand.
she got that Activia going.
She does. Good for
Like
her.
if I'm telling you right now, if she did a fridge tour,
Mhm.
like they do apparently on things,
Mhm.
it would just
Where
be
I just show you what garbage I eat all
Activia.
day. Just kidding.
just piles of Activia just stacked all the way to the very top, and she'd be like, "Yeah, and this is my Activia."
Chris, this is why I eat all the time too.
I think, honestly, though, I think that would be. She looks like someone that, even if not involved with an Activia advertising campaign, she looks like someone that would go out of her way to eat Activia. Like, she just has an appeal about her.
She just needs to stay regular. Okay, when Michael Myers is running around trying to kill you all the time, you gotta stay regular.
You gotta stay regular.
You gotta stay regular.
No, that's the game we play. Are you wearing clean underwear? What? Never mind.
Oh my gosh.
Is it that bad? Do we overshare?
No,
Is it the stuff? Is it that bad? I think not.
it's pretty tasty.
I liked it. I think it is
think
not
it's
that bad.
solid.
I think it's a solid whore.
Well, is it solid or is it moving?
Well, it's alive.
It's alive.
It's shaving cream, so
Shaving.
Sometimes you just gotta eat shaving cream.
sometimes you just gotta eat shaving cream.
Besides the little nitpicky things that I pointed out earlier about just editing errors and dialogue and all of that stuff that you kind of keep an eye out for, I think this was a really solid one. I think this was a really nice choice.
Ohio then.
All right, so next week, did we decide that Mark's going to pick out a film?
I would like to, but it's been a while since Mark has tossed his hat in the ring. The look of you.
Come on.
All right. Dude Bro Party Massacre 3.
Dude, bro, Mad Party Massacre 3. Okay.
You heard it here.
It's a mouthful.
Dude Bro Party Massacre 3.
It's so fucking bad.
There's
Oh
not,
my
first off, for anyone who's thinking they're going to marathon these, there's not a first or a second one. There's just
It's
the
just the
third
one.
one.
I would like to see the
First.
first. I don't know if I'd like to see the first, the second one. I might as well just go in the third one. Even if there were the first two, I just watched the third one. I wouldn't even bother.
Well, because I can't,
You know?
I can't do like a good movie, so it has to get a really bad movie.
And this sounds like a solid, not even a solid bad movie, but this sounds like a truly just
Terrible.
awful, very very bad.
So this is a movie that is so bad that I have actually avoided watching it.
Really,
That's saying something. I've never actually seen
that's
this
something I
film.
never thought. I'd
You're in for a trip.
I've never actually seen this film before. I know a lot of people that have seen it that say I should watch it, and I've never seen it.
You watched Nightmare Shark.
Nightmare Shark was fantastic.
That's on par.
It was a masterpiece. The shark literally stops and smiles at people. It has this big toothy grin like Bruce from Finding Nemo when he smells blood.
No. I love that. I love everything about that.
But yes, Dude Bro Party Massacre 3.
Okay, so we're infiltrating a popular fraternity.
Yep.
And like honestly, like when you look at the fraternity sorority house like
Okay,
massacre
wait.
slasher genre, there is a genre
Oh, it's a genre, of course.
There's a whole line of films.
But while you're watching this, I want you to count how many people actually live in this big old house.
I like how there's
6
one
people?
actor cast as his own twin.
Yep.
Is it
Like,
like
they
6
do-
people?
I forgot how many there are in there, but that's not enough to fill that house.
Well, that's kind of like a stereotypical thing for those films as well.
There's
You
what?
never see the entire sorority or the entire fraternity. And even when they have like a meeting, it'll be like 10 people at most.
Well, what's actually considered a brothel? Is it more than
So legally in the town that I went to school in,
Mm.
you were not allowed to have we weren't allowed to have like sorority houses because in
Didn't
that
go to like a very
very big
area party school. Yeah, like a
party school, we were not allowed to legally have sorority houses because an old law there was against brothels and like houses like that, houses of ill repute. You could not
which
have
had been
more than
placed in,
8
like, the-
women living in one under one roof that were not of blood relation in like its own self-contained house, because
Okay.
they had a huge like issue with like whorehouses way back when.
oh
apparently.
yeah, like back in like 1800s,
1800s.
whatever.
But
that
yeah,
law
they
has yet to be repealed.
it's not changed. And even when you go to try to get off campus
Off-campus.
housing, you can only have X amount of women legally living in one establishment.
Wow,
Oh,
To
yeah.
this day, still a thing.
that
And
is.
I know
Wow.
a lot of my friends who were really immersed in Greek life. I rushed. I didn't actually join. I didn't end up actually joining. But
Mhm.
I know a lot of the girls that did actually continue on with Greek life and everything. It was kind of like a little bit of a downer that they can only have like 5 girls or 4 girls or whatever in a house. And they
Yeah,
had like
that kind of
numerous
breaks their
houses.
sorority. Yeah,
But
like
they
that's
didn't
kind
have
of
one big establishment.
one big house and having that very stereotypical
sister.
home. Yeah.
thing, yeah.
The school that I'm currently attending, our campus is in a historic district. So
Okay.
I live in my campus is in the middle of a bunch of neighborhoods. We have houses on campus, like where I'll see people driving through our quad or whatever to get home. And because of the town wanting to preserve the historic district, they outlawed Greek life. They banned Greek life altogether. So even if I wanted to rush or join, I would be unable to. And in the 60s, they brought it back. Or they tried it, they introduced it. Because they were like, maybe we should enjoy it like these social clubs and have our students involved in that. It got so out of hand that they had to shut it down forever. They canceled it, and then it got so like I had to do
Canceled.
for one of my journalism classes. I did an investigation on it, and I was talking to our campus historian, and they were telling it, and they're like, yeah, they tried it for like a month in the 60s, and then things got so out of control that they shut it down, and nobody's ever allowed to do Greek life at this school again.
Oh,
Well, a
the
couple of
stick.
years ago, one of my family friends, they had their son attend the school that I'm going to, and he is kind of he's your guy that's going to show up at your Dude Road Party Massacre, right?
Yeah.
That's the type of guy he was. So he showed up to this school that's a fairly small school, wanting to introduce Greek life and trying to kind of break down those rules that were already in place. He petitioned, he marched, he had rallies. He was super, super vocal for Greek life. And they said no. And he said, okay. And then he left the school and transferred to Missouri, I believe.
Oh, Mizzou.
Mizzou, I almost went to Mizzou. I looked at Mizzou for a while. And then I realized that outside of campus, there's nothing there.
Coughing.
Oh. Anyway,
Sorry.
there's actually a lot to do outside of Mizzou.
I'm sorry, I was at Mizzou for like 3 days.
Just saying.
3 days a couple of years ago, like 3 or 4 years ago.
Well, I lived there for like 4 years.
You lived in Columbia, Missouri?
Well, right outside
Okay.
Clayton.
Okay. I got
Yeah.
you.
The middle school I went to was across the street from Mizzou.
Oh, okay. Yeah. So you know the area quite well.
There's actually a lot to do, like the Lou and stuff like that, or the Loop.
The Loop. Okay.
And then you also had the St. Louis Mall.
No. Yeah, that's right.
Galleria.
Yeah, background.
What else was there? Yeah, you could just take the Amtrak to the Arch and visit that for time.
St. Louis.
Yeah.
Yeah. But
Actually, yeah, not gonna lie, there really wasn't that much to do.
I like how you tried to defend it though. You had me in the first half there, not gonna lie.
But I
I
mean,
was like, oh, I guess I'm wrong, go on.
I guess there was a lot to do in the Loop, but you had to be older.
Yeah, that's the only thing.
I was only like 14, 15. I couldn't get into any bars. I tried.
Hey, if you're
You have a
14
good
years old
take,
getting
maybe,
into a
Jeff.
bar, that's either really great for you or really bad for the city.
Yeah.
A little both.
Yeah.
It's okay. It's still funny. What was the bar I went to and I finally turned 21 and I showed them my real ID? They were so pissed.
Yeah. Yeah. He showed him their real ID and it's like, wait a minute, what?
I was like, yeah, I'm 21 now. And they're like, it's like, you're telling me? I was like, yeah, it wasn't real. You're welcome.
Yeah.
Got him.
Gotcha. I had just turned 17.
I had one fake ID once
And
and I used it to try to get in to see Framing Hanley because they were performing at some dive bar around about here. And I got in. I wasn't even trying to drink. And another bouncer was walking past, shot one look at me and was like,
Oh,
you're
hell.
underage? Oh, hell no. Next thing I know, I'm over this guy's shoulder and I'm screaming that I want to meet Kenneth Nixon. And Kenneth Nixon is the lead singer of Framing Hanley, which, of course, he's shit-faced drunk singing. And he sees this and he just starts saying, he's like, hey, he's like, I love you, little girl. I was like, I love you too, Kenneth Nixon. And
then-
Mark's at the bar, actually,
Yeah, you're
We're-
being carried off. I'm like, bye.
he's just like, see you later, Bev.
See you in a few hours. I even got a wristband. It was great.
You got the
17.
over 21 wristband where that you just walk up to the bar.
Yep.
About a year ago,
I'm gonna
I
find
saw
something.
Rex Orange County at a ballroom here in Chicago. And I went with a friend, and then I met, she set me up on some blind date at the time. And this guy had more interest than just walking back and forth to the bar to where I was standing. And he kept, it was my friends and I, but he kept handing me drinks. And then he'd disappear for half an hour and he'd come back. And we were right by the stage too. So we were right against the barricade. And I was drinking nervously and I was looking over at, I made eye contact with the security guards. I was like, hey guys, how's it going? Drinking. And they're like,
Act
hey,
like
you having fun? I was like, yeah. And I remember I lost, the guy
Okay.
disappeared at one point. I think he left the show.
Oh gosh. I
He
don't know-
left your date.
I don't know how well you can or
He
cannot.
just left and he's like, thanks for the drinks. And I was like,
Oh, I don't know how well you can or cannot see it. But
Babyface BKR. Oh,
turn the slide off. For that.
bye.
All right.
okay.
All right. So that is me when I am, gosh, this is so bad.
16.
16, 17? So
He let you into a bar like that?
they were not very smart back then.
Back then.
Back then, okay, here, you can probably
then.
see that a little better. There we go. Yeah, that is 16, 17-year-old me.
They just let you right in. They let
Well-
you right in.
Well, here's the thing. You act like you own the place. You start talking to people you don't know. and you try to get familiar with them, even though they're looking at you like you're fucking crazy.
Or
and then they
you
just
walk
kind of
past the
assume,
bouncer.
or you just walk past the back.
Just walk past the bouncer. They give you one look over, and they're like, "Nope."
Yep.
You get thrown over a shoulder.
That's you.
Oh, it's okay. Just like the one time I went to a strip club, you're supposed to pay like the person to get in, right?
Mhm.
Nope, I just walked straight to the bar, and then there's like, they literally looked at me, he's like, "How the hell did you get in here?" I was like, "Just act like you own the place."
That's true. If you can convince other people you know what you're doing.
Then they don't ask a question.
A couple of years ago, when Star Wars Celebration was being held in Chicago, I had a buddy of mine text me, and I had no intention of going because the tickets were like $500 for the weekend, and it was just so overpriced. And I had no interest at the time. I was dealing with some other stuff and didn't really want to go. And my buddy texted me, and he's like, "Hey, I know there's a train station by you, walking distance. Can you get on the next available train? I will meet you at the train station. Bring one of your old con badges. We're going to sneak into Star Wars Celebration." And I was like, okay, that sounds like fun, you know? So I got on the train, and I met him at the train station, and I got in the car, and we drove over to the McCormick place, and we get in, and we're walking, and we did just what Mark said. You know, we're walking around, so I took my old lanyard, and I put it down the front of my shirt, and I turned it around so you could see the outline of the tag, but from the back of my neck, so it looks like it got flipped around during the day because it clearly wasn't the right ticket. But it was the same shape, the same outline, and the same company that had it, so you could see the ReedPop logo popping over my shoulder.
Yep.
And we're walking in, and we're stopping, saying hi to people, shaking hands, having a good time, just walking straight in, and we got stopped at the gate. And I go, he go, "Hey, where's your ticket?" And I kind of look at my buddy, and he kind of looks at me, and he goes, "Oh, you know what? I think I left it inside. I think I left it at my table. I'm an exhibitor." And I go, "You know what? Yeah, I think he's right. I'm with him." And I have mine. I have the lanyard here, and I showed the bit of it that I could pull out. And they go, "Oh, yeah, okay." Hey, I go, "Let's go get your lanyard." And we walked right in, and nobody stopped us.
Yep.
Walked right past the guy.
Yep.
You're dealing with.
I can't say that I much like doing that at like bars or clubs because I don't have a height advantage. That's my only thing. Is that, and it's not my fault, you know. I can't sit there and tell the poor bouncer why I don't have a height advantage, and then to hold up the whole line and make that a big thing. But like, even if I were to own at the time when I needed a ID, I think that would not be in my favor. But I did. Whenever I would go and pick up stuff with my guy friends who were older than me, who were of age, I would go with them. And we would do the sketchiest thing ever to buy alcohol from like Walgreens or CVS. So I would leave from class and I would have my backpack on.
Oh, no.
And I would go with them and I would hang out with them and we'd walk around this and we'd make our rounds, we'd look around and we would, kind of look like we were doing something. And we decided what we wanted to pick up. And then we would go to pay. At the CVS by me or the Walgreens by me, both parties or how many parties that are there buying alcohol need to show their IDs.
Yep.
And I was standing up there and it kind of escaped me. My buddy puts the bottle on the table on the counter and he looks like kind of how Mark does. He's got a more mature feel to him. So they go, "Oh, okay, cool. Can I see your ID?" And at the time, my friend had lost his wallet, so he had his passport with him. So he hands the passport over. He goes, "Okay." And then they look at me and they go, "Hey, do you have your ID?" And I kind of freeze for a minute because I know I'm in trouble. So I kind of pat myself over, go for my pockets, go for my chest pocket. I'm like, "Man, I don't have my ID on me." I did, but I was like, "I don't have an ID. I'm sorry. What can I do? We really need to go. We're not from around here. We were just picking this up on the way to our buddies." And they go, "Oh, okay. Well, what's your date of birth?" And I go, 5/28/98, which was a year above me at the time. I had no hesitation. I go 5/28/98. And I kind of look at the cashier, look at me, and they go, "That checks out. There you go." He steps outside and he puts the thing right in my bag, and I go back to campus, slip him his money, and I always shake hands, go separate ways.
Yep.
Yep.
Savage.
It's okay. It's
We
the same.
we stood behind it. Was making a deal. I was putting the shit in my bag, and he was like taking my money.
Yeah, it's just like when I was a delivery driver. I used to walk into places like I owned them, and then
There?
people were
There
looking.
you
No, it was so bad because sometimes the workers would approach me and ask me questions about what to do next. I'm like, I don't fucking know. I don't work here. I just walk away from them. Oh gosh.
I just remember so I know we've discussed it before, but like our area, they're kind of weird with like horror films.
Oh
Yeah.
And they're
That's right.
really, really strict on some things. So when My Bloody Valentine in 3D came out, they were very strict on the age restrictions there. And I was underage at the time to actually buy a ticket for it legally. Like, you know, I wasn't 17 and you had to be 17. Like they were checking IDs.
Yeah, I got that.
And Mark went in because Mark's older than me. Mark went in, he bought the tickets and everything. And he came back out and he just handed me my ticket. We're going back in. And they're like, wait a minute. Her, how old is she? And Mark, without fail, looks at him and just pipes up and is just like, what? You have an issue with their age now? He's like, you sold her a ticket. He's like, clearly she's of age.
Yep.
Just so aggressive to this guy. Like, he's like, clearly she's of age. Like, what? You need to check her ID a second time? He's like, what? Is this your way of harassing someone?
I mean, come on.
Like, oh, yeah. Just the guy backed off so quick.
We had something similar when a couple of years ago when Deadpool came out. The theater, I decided to go with a couple of friends. A handful of friends wanted to go see it opening night. I'm like, okay, yeah, sure, why not? So I didn't realize that the theater was going to be IDing. And like how they ID'd you for being 17 at the time, that was how it was. You have to be 17 to get an R-rated film.
Yep.
And I really never had to do that before because I was never really going out and, you know, making it known that I was going to see an R-rated film or whatever. Like, who cares? It's an R-rated film.
Yeah.
And so we're buying tickets, and my friend buys the tickets, and we're all, okay, yeah, well, I'm going with her. We're all together, you know, picking the seats on the screen or whatever. And they stop, and they look at me, and they go, hey, give your ID. And I go, yeah. So I hand them my license, and it goes, oh, it says here that you're 16. And I go, yeah, I've got like a month until I'm 17, you know. I'm like, okay, well, you can't come in. And I just bought the ticket. I was like, what do you mean I can't go in? Yeah, I'm like, this is my, and I had driven with these people. So I was like, well, I got the ticket. You know, I paid my money. I paid my $15 or my $7, whatever it was at the time. Why can't I get in? And they're like, well, you're not 17. We can't let you see this movie. And I was like, okay, this is my ride. And they go, okay, well, do you not have a way home? And I said, no, I don't. And they kind of looked at me for a second, and they're like, go. They let me into the lobby. They go, can you go sit in the lobby? You could go sit in the lobby and wait for the movie to end. And I go, I was pissed. I was like, fine, that's fine. I'll go sit. You know, I have my ticket. I'm going to go sit in the lobby and wait for the movie to end. So I walk in. We're kind of like, all right, guys, what are we going to do? And I go and I sit down in the lobby behind one of the movie posters or out of sight from the box office guy who had paid me, or I paid. And I kind of waited. We kind of waited a little bit. We kind of sat down and talked, you know, looking around. And when his back was turned, when he went to go check someone else in, I got up and walked to the theater.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. He's not going to go in after you.
Yeah, I know. I was just like, why? And I got in, and there was like a young child. I remember very vividly a young child sitting right next to me, and I'm like, she can get in, but I can't.
Well, you have to remember they were all stacked on top of each other in duffel coat.
That's right.
That's awesome.
That's right. You're right.
Yeah. That's how it works. Jesus.
I don't know. Maybe that's why the Deadpool movie rubs me the wrong way, because I got hassled trying to watch it.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, maybe. Oh wait, what other movie did they ID for us? Oh, The Interview.
Yes.
Well, because what was it?
I was in school at the time too. Like,
Yeah, we got ID to get into the interview because it was such a quote unquote controversial film.
they also had put in metal detectors at the time for that film.
Even though our friends totally came in and they were packing heavily, just in case shit went down.
One was an off-duty officer.
Well, yeah, but
So-
still, he still had it on him. Those metal
Yeah.
detectors didn't do shit.
I know it was such a big thing when it happened, and like they were getting death threats and everything.
Yeah,
I do know that there was a
Which is-
really large uproar around the movie and the content and the nature.
Wait, isn't the FBI agent from WandaVision the same guy?
Jimmy Woo!
I think it is. Isn't
Randall
it?
Park has been in everything.
Yeah.
He has been like,
You know what I really remember from the interview?
SEAL Team 6.
Besides Eminem and his gay lover. But I also remember, yes, I knew that would make him die laughing the second I mentioned it. Eminem and his gay lover, yes, but also
Why?
Firework, because Kimmy,
Oh,
you're firework.
Because Kimmy, you're fine.
Franco constantly going back and forth to Katy Perry lyrics, just
I liked that.
everything.
I'm sorry, but that acoustic piano version they played while the helicopter is just blowing up in their face was just brilliant.
Really.
I'm surprised that they took such measures for the interview and not Borat or Borat 2.
Yeah. Well,
Sacha Baron Cohen.
well, for
He was
Borat,
fantastic in Trial of the Chicago 7. He was very different in that element, and it was really nice to see.
well, isn't it for like Borat and stuff like that? It was so low budget they just didn't care.
Probably. The second
My
Borat was
sister
good.
is number 4 prostitute.
My
in
sister
all
is
of
number
Australia.
2 prostitute of all of Kazakhstan. I buy step for my home, neighbor buy step for home. I buy microwave for home, neighbor buy microwave for home. I buy AMF radio for home, my neighbor cannot afford success. I don't think that's right, but that's pretty damn close.
Oh my gosh. Yes.
Oh, Borat.
This is my daughter, number 4. Oh, jeez, no, wait. This is my daughter. Isn't she like livestock or something like that? She's put on the same level as the donkey. It's just so fucking bad.
I haven't seen Borat in so long.
You don't want to.
I haven't seen it in so long.
It does not get better.
It does not get better.
It does not age
It
well.
really doesn't get better.
Although,
Like, I really, you think it's like one of those. Well, there are some moments. Borat as a character is funny, right? I like, but God, these movies are so obnoxious.
the moment when they're actually running around the hotel, a rumor is that they actually filmed that in St. Louis. So when he was
Really?
when they were walking into like the hotels and stuff like that,
Mhm.
he was actually being kicked out of these high-end establishments. Like none of that was planned. They were just
That's so
happened. But no, Martin Luther King Drive and stuff like that. I'm pretty sure that's like East St. Louis and shit like that.
Well, there you go.
Well, thank you, Gene, for throwing that.
Really? I'm sorry, my cat's throwing things.
I mean, she is Jean Grey.
Well, don't speak of her too
Speaking
much.
of Jean Grey, I know another X-Men actress is going to be scouted for Sue Storm.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yay. J-Law gets to sleepwalk to another check.
We seen your boobs. We seen your boobs.
That is true.
We seen more
Hey,
than
we
this.
love. Oh, I was gonna say we love Asian Americans, but that's Scarlett Johansson.
Aww.
What was that one
I
B-rated
don't even
movie she was in?
Another Fantastic Four.
In the skin or
In
under
the-
the skin or whatever.
under-
Ghost in
yeah.
the Shell.
No,
No.
under her skin or
Under
in
this-
her skin or
Hound.
something in skin.
I think
It
it's
was a
in-
weird movie. It was a very weird movie. And it was like, she was like a man eater, but it was like the shadows. I don't even know exactly what was going on. with
Under
that.
the Skin.
Under the skin. Such a weird thing.
Full frontal.
Good, weird, or bad?
Like
you have to like
she picks up these guys and takes them back to her house. And
Okay.
I don't know if she's like eating these men or if the house eats the men. Because like you just see her like
Okay.
unclothed and then the guy like approaches her and then there's
then all of a sudden-
darkness.
and then like
And
the
then they're
darkness
just
consumes
gone.
them and they're gone.
It's just darkness and then you just see her and the guy's like gone or dead or something.
And then she
And
just
it's
smiles
super weird.
like she's like
That's very
luring
weird.
them
it
in.
never explains it and it never goes into any like any reference of what's going on. You never find out what happens. Just these people are gone.
And if
That's
you get
bizarre.
really
that.
really hammered and watch this, it does not.
I
get any
have to.
better.
That's the
No.
only way I'm gonna
It-
watch this movie.
No.
And I'm looking at it here, and like, there's no like Scarlett Johansson is cast as the female,
Mhm.
and then
Uh-huh.
Batman, the woman.
Yep.
It's
Yeah, like,
very
there's nothing going on in this movie, but like
so.
it's one of those things where you just start watching it and you just can't look away. But you're like,
took
why am
10
I
years-
watching this?
Maybe.
She's a succubus. Yeah, I can see that, but like
I just
I feel like she's like I don't know, like an alien almost or something. Because I feel like there's got to be something going on with the house. I don't know. It was
That's-
weird. It's so weird.
I kind of like the idea of it just because it makes you wonder. But it sounds, and the way that you are describing it, it sounds like a very incomplete movie. It
This
sounds
movie-
like there's a
this
really
movie-
strong idea that's not executed very well.
There's no explanation. That's the one thing that you take away from it. There's no explanation.
The Room is better.
I've watched it one time. I've never gone back to watching it.
I didn't even make it all the way through.
I watched all of it and I didn't understand it.
I didn't.
It-
I don't think I ever.
To
made it
me,
through.
I don't like really artsy films
Mm.
that try to like overthink everything. And they're like, oh, it was this huge, elaborate, da da da, da. And I'm just like, okay, all right,
So if you need to pause,
I'll be over here with my sharks.
Yeah, right. And there are some really, really impressive artsy indie art house movies out there that are really just making a statement or just really deeply well understanding of themselves, where I have a deeper appreciation for that. But if you're gonna like not go anywhere and you're gonna dead end your movie and then you're gonna cast Scarlett Johansson in it, like that's like 3 shots to the foot right there.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know if I like Scarlett Johansson as an actress. I liked her in Jojo Rabbit.
I still haven't seen Jojo Rabbit. I've heard
Such
nothing
a
but
good
good
movie.
things.
It's such a good movie.
And I know it's on one of the streaming platforms, but like I haven't gotten
I think
around
it's
to
on
it yet.
HBO. I'm not sure.
shark movies. Shark movies. Shark.
I like
movies.
sharks and horror movies.
Those are artsy. It has
They're
to do with
sharksy.
Yes.
No, but like you know what I'm talking about. Like
I know
really,
exactly. what
really
you're talking about.
pretentious artsy films. I can't stand.
I once had someone tell me that I was not a true professional film critic because I do not watch Ugandan cinema.
What? What?
What?
They told me this like with their full chest too. They were like, "Yeah, I don't think you're equipped because you don't understand and appreciate Ugandan cinema." And like this wasn't even coming from someone inside of the film critic circle here in Chicago. It was coming from someone that I had briefly mentioned. Hey, I moonlight as a film critic. And they said, "Whoa, do you watch Ugandan movies?" And I said, "No." And they then decided to like take a jab at my ego.
Was there a drink in your hand at that time?
There was not. I hate to say that I was stone cold sober.
Because that would be the kind of person, if they said that to me, I would just shotgun my entire drink, no matter how full it was, and then probably just look at them, hand them the cup, and walk away.
I'm gonna think about when I drink. That's something I'm gonna be like, this is a reason to drink because it's been years and I still think
Shotgun all of it.
Yep.
And then hand them the glass and walk away. Don't even say anything.
I kind of wish I was still in contact and be like, "Here you go. This is for you."
It's just like coning at McDonald's.
Yeah.
We've done that, right?
I have not, but I'd like to hear about it.
You never heard of coning?
Oh my god, no!
So
Mark,
you
no.
buy $1. You go to the drive-thru. You ask them for $1 ice cream cone,
Oh, I think I know where this is going, but keep going.
and then as soon as you get to the window, you just grab the top of the ice cream. Don't even look them in the
Drive
eye.
away.
and
Yeah,
drive
I know
away.
exactly what that is. Yep.
Yep.
Yeah, I didn't know it was called coning. I know what you're talking about, but I didn't know it had a name.
Yep. How many times I've done that? It's priceless. Or what's even worse is you take the ice cream, you just stick it on your face, and then drive away. It's such a mess, but it's so much fun watching their expression go. Like, what the fuck?
That's a lot of work for just a joke.
$1. It's a whole dollar and totally.
I
worth
was
it.
talking about the mess of the ice cream.
Oh no, you get to clean it.
Yeah, Kat, you get to clean it up.
Half the time you're in the car with me, so
Oh gosh.
Oh man. See, if I'm working at like McDonald's or Wendy's or something, I need that type of excitement in my life.
my sister did it to like, oh man, 6 or 7 of them around town in St. Louis when she was visiting.
Mhm.
She got every single one of them on film. The worst
You gotta
one
put it
was
together in a compilation.
this is so many years ago when it was. But anyway, one of the funniest ones she showed me is the guy literally went and backed away as she's driving away. Like you can literally hear him like back up with just like going in his hand. I felt so bad, but at the same time, I was like, "That's kind of funny."
That is kind of funny.
Chris Barrett, it is not petty theft.
You're paying for the ice cream
You
cone.
paid
Chris
for the
Barrett.
ice cream cone at the first window.
You pay it for it at the first window, then you drive up to actually receive it at the second, and you just take
Chris,
the
I
ice
don't know if
cream.
you know how a drive-through works, but a drive-through.
You typically pay before you get the product.
Where are you going? Where you just get the product and you can choose to drive off? Like, I would like to know. Please drop the location.
Wendy's.
Wendy's. Yeah.
It's happened. A time or 4.
I had today at work, I had someone not pay their tab and just walk out.
Yeah, that's happened too.
Hey, I'm looking at their little the machine I have in my hand, and I go, "Hey, you guys had 2 additional wines. Is that correct?" And I kind of show it to them. I go, "You guys have 2 drinks. You know, are we ready to close out?" And they go, "That's not us." And then they get up and leave. Yeah, well, I was like, "Wait." So I'm like, "What do you mean that's not you?" They go, "That's not us. We didn't buy 2 wines." And I'm like, "Oh." I'm like leaning over with the thing in my hand. I'm like, "Okay, you guys, we got some runners, you know."
Yeah. So did you catch them?
We did catch them,
Okay.
but I just kind of watched them leave, and they like were walking very fast. But they didn't leave the park. They went right to the bathroom. Yeah.
I don't want to know.
I radioed my manager, and I was like, "Hey, we have an unclosed tab headed for the bathroom," and they're like, "Okay, you know." I'm like,
This is
all
why you're
right,
in the
I guess
middle of
this is a regular thing, you know.
Is this why your restaurant is in such an undisclosed location? There's no address.
You can't just escape. You
can't
have to
escape.
pay.
No
You have to
address.
pay.
You have to pay, otherwise you cannot leave.
Otherwise, you can't leave.
Good luck. We're in a bunch of quarries. Nobody's gonna find your body.
Oh.
What's Corey have to do with it?
I thought you were just gonna like chain them up, make them indentured servants, like what they want to do on Mars.
So that means if they run, they'll eventually just fall.
Yeah. We are so like where I work, the park that I work at, it's surrounded by a bunch of old quarries. I live in an old mining, like an old quarry town, and some of them are still up and running. And it's a lot of lakes and bodies of water around us. So they either like you pull out and you don't pull on right to like the main town. You have to get out of that area and then cross railroad tracks to get over to the main town.
Nice. You are.
It's very
literally
eerie. It's so
BFL.
scary driving out of that night. Like I
seriously
So,
in the middle of nowhere.
So if we ever need to hide a body, we're gonna call it.
got you. I know exactly where to put it.
I can call it
Yeah.
too.
I mean, I've had more than a few people offer
Mhm.
before, but like I feel like you would actually know.
I mean, I'm not saying whether I did or didn't, and this is not a
You know,
confessional
wink,
in any
wink.
way,
Intent.
but um,
I
But-
Hey,
would,
hey,
I
what
know it's
happens on Is It That Bad stays on Is It That Bad.
but does
if you
it?
made it past the hour mark, congratulations.
Congratulations, you're a true fan of Is It That Bad? We've heard talk about the movie for the first 45 minutes and talk for the next 2 hours and whatever
It's
minutes
about nothing.
about absolutely nothing.
We talk about what we're supposed to talk about for maybe an hour.
Eh.
Eh.
If that.
But we
Unless
established if it was that bad. We already talked about it, you know?
Unless Annie decides to unplug her laptop. We don't know if it's that bad.
All right, guys. Bye, so here I go. But
Now we're
Yeah.
pulling the plug.
I'm still having issues with it too. It's working, but like
Oh, I was just
out of
joking.
all,
I think you
all,
got
the, all
fixed.
the chargers, my entire family has the same type of laptop. Like we got like, we could buy electronics in bulk and you get the discounts. Yeah, we did one of those deals a couple of years ago, and we all had the same laptop. So like when I was first having issues, I went around and I found a laptop charger that worked, and 1 out of the 4 that we have works. Like the other 3 work on the other 3 laptops, but if you plug it into mine, it doesn't like hitch or it doesn't connect or something.
Hmm.
It's just the weirdest thing. I know nothing about technology.
You would have to go to Tesla.
Was the laptop dropped or was the charger like ever ripped out of it?
Well, no.
No?
I mean, sometimes there are assigned chargers to assigned laptops, so they will know.
Which it could be. That could be it as well.
Sometimes.
I mean, the only thing that I would really think about being an issue is that maybe 6 months ago I cracked the screen, and then ever since, like, it went in for a repair. So I'm not sure. Like, it's not like this is still a persistent issue where I'm, trying to look at the monitor through a cracked screen or something.
Well, I mean, here's the same situation. Sometimes the phone charger works for my phone all the time and doesn't work for yours.
That's true. That is true.
Same charger.
Same charger.
Well, pizza delivery is going to be for free this week on Annie. Yes. Okay.
Yes.
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 Okay. Yep.
Yes, I did steal your bronzer, sister. Annie, quit stealing bronzer.
That's not.
The moment I actually put bronzer on, it's going to look like I really loud and dirt. And that's why I don't use it.
Oh my god.
If you can wake up and put on, like she does, where she puts on her bronzer every day and it looks fine, I have envy. But
I just. Sometimes you just gotta wake up and put that war paint on. Just.
I guess you do.
I'm not gonna lie, I literally thought you were gonna say sometimes you just need to eat shaving cream. I literally thought that was where you were gonna go with it, and I'm a little
Sometimes
disappointed
you do.
didn't go with
Sometimes
it.
you need to throw up in the back of Moriarty's car. It's fine.
Sometimes it's fine. It's fine.
It just be like. I one thing about that movie, the stuff I like how many different cuts like it went through where you kind of know that everything is hashed together. I like how disjointed it is. It doesn't really make sense, but it does at the same time.
No.
Annie's buying us pizza. Mhm.
Oh, no.
Mark and I were talking about this earlier. We're just gonna have whole anchovies on it.
Yep.
Mhm.
They're gonna be looking right back at you.
Got those fish eyes.
It's
Yeah.
the fish that never smiles back.
It's a snack that doesn't
Fish.
smile back.
Fish and mushrooms, everyone.
I love mushrooms. I don't know what you guys are on about.
Mushrooms are good,
Mushrooms are very good.
especially the ones that sometimes you eat it and you see stuff.
I just saute up my mushrooms.
Oh no, you don't
A
need to
little bit
saute.
of oil, a little bit of oregano. Give it a nice coating.
Do you use like avocado oil or just like olive oil?
Just like a vegetable oil. I've not heard of avocado oil. Does it have an avocado taste to it?
a little.
Or is it like a substitute for cooking oil?
It has a little bit of an avocado taste to it.
Mark's a fancy bitch.
Mark, I shop at Aldi's. I don't know what you want me to say.
That's where I got my avocado.
We actually got that from there yesterday.
I love Aldi.
I also bought a $16 fillet of fish from
A
Aldi.
$16 filet of fish.
I will go pull it. I will go pull it out of their fridge. I'm going to make this tomorrow. By the
This
way.
better be the best fish you ever had.
I mean, I don't eat fish, but
you
it's a
do.
good looking fish.
It's a good looking cut of meat.
It's a good looking fish.
All right.
And Mark did do fishing for a living, so I mean,
That's
when
right.
Mark gets excited about some fish, he gets
If it's
excited
a
about some
$16,
fish.
whoa.
Look
Oh,
at that.
Oh,
Look at that
nice.
beast.
Yeah,
Oh,
that's
sorry.
a solid.
$17.
That's a solid fillet. Yeah.
He got mad because it's not Alaskan salmon.
Where's it
It's
from?
Atlantic salmon.
What's the difference?
Apparently there's a very big difference. I made the same mistake of asking him that in the store, and he got mad at me. And he went on a rant. There were people that were looking at us like, oh, is this gonna be a thing? Are they fighting? You know? He was even mad at me when we were like finally pulling in the driveway and like parked the car and everything outside our house, and his whole thing was just like, there is a difference. Like super quiet the entire car ride. He's like, there is a difference. He's still pouting about it.
I did. I'm not gonna lie.
Don't upset him and his fish.
I won't ask any more fish related questions.
I mean, you can. Just not the type of fish that tastes better.
I see you're very particular about your salmon.
Gummy sharks.
What?
Gummy sharks.
Gummy sharks?
Gummy sharks.
What about gummy sharks?
They're good.
They're very tasty.
What about shark with teeth with no? I mean, sharks with no teeth. It's just messed up. Gummy.
Sharks without teeth.
Yeah, gummy sharks.
Oh. Oh.
Ah, grandpa shark.
Dad
Doo,
jokes.
doo.
Uh,
I should stop.
Chris
Yeah.
Barrett wants to know, Mark, what is your favorite type of fish?
Definitely red salmon. Alaska red salmon.
How do you usually prepare it? I regret asking that question after you sighed.
It depends on how rustic you want to get. So most of the time I do like to prepare it on the grill, but if I make a campfire, it is so much better.
Oh man, open flame fish. That's where it's at.
You wrap it in aluminum foil, a little bit of that oil, avocado oil if you want. Yeah.
There you go.
Sprinkle
That does sound
that thyme on there. Sometimes a little bit of lemon pepper.
Wait a minute. Wait. Did you just say thyme?
Yeah.
He did say thyme instead of time.
Mhm.
Same thing. It's an H in it.
That is true.
He pronounces it.
Who taught you that pronunciation? Like, who heard you said thyme and said, we're going to keep letting him say that?
Just like Illinois.
He did that one on purpose.
I did.
He did that one on purpose.
But wait, it's not pronounced Illinois. Okay, this is serious.
Oh man, I know people from Illinois who pronounce it Illinois, and I'm like,
Or is it Rhode Island?
can't wait to go to Rhode Island this summer.
That's like, I'm from Lafayette,
Laugh
and
a
there
lot.
are people that say Lafayette.
Is it not staggered?
It's just Lafayette.
Well, I mean,
Lafayette?
it depends on how much you drink.
But they always want to say Fayette.
Well, it's because it's French.
Isn't that
But
the French,
it's not. No,
French pronunciation is Lafayette?
no, they say Fi.
Like Lafayette.
Oh, Lafayette?
Yeah.
Oh,
I'm
No.
like, no, it's Lafayette.
no. No. It's like people saying milk instead of milk. Where you accentuate the E.
Wait, so it's actually not thyme, it's time? Oh, shit. I've been saying it wrong for years.
Wait.
Potatoes,
Okay.
Is that
mash them, boil them, stick them in a stew.
Mm. Add a little bit of thyme to it.
God bless America. Oh.
The things we talk about on isn't that
Isn't that bad?
Mark's words and pronunciations, yes. I mean,
Our word of the day is time.
Thyme. Thyme by Mark.
Like, it is time to watch the stuff. There you go.
Oh. What about the stuff with time?
Ooh.
That could be
Thailand.
kind of weird.
Silence.
Man.
That is the worst
Who's
name
that
for
who's saying Thailand? I knew someone whose last name was Thalen, but that's very different.
That
What the
a
hell
really-
is Thailand?
a bad sorority?
Okay.
I don't know.
Chris Barrett, what are you talking about? When
Who is
can we
we,
watch
Chris
Tara
Barrett?
Reid movies?
This is a very prolonged request.
Are we talking about like Trailer Park Sharks? Or are we talking like
American Pie.
American Pie?
Gosh, I still can't get over that. I've been saying it wrong for years.
Fish Tropic. I don't actually eat fish. I'm extremely allergic to most things that come out of the ocean.
I'm here.
Like even him cooking that fish in the house is probably gonna bother me a
Who
bit.
said I was going to do that in here?
He's gonna go to his other home and cook up the fish.
No, I'm going to go to the
He's
backyard.
probably gonna go out to the fire pit and do
I'm going to
it.
go to the fire pit, dig out that fire pit that's under 3 feet of snow, and start a fire to make that fish.
Chris Barrett, by Tara Reid movies, are you talking about Sharknado?
He is.
Says yeah, he's talking
Okay.
Sharknado 1 through 12.
There are 12 of those.
I don't
thought there
think
were
there
six.
are. No,
I
I,
thought
think
there were
there's
6
7.
Sharknadoes.
I
Okay.
think there's 7.
They keep making them?
Yeah. It's money.
They're in popular demand, Mark.
Dude, it's literally like writing blank checks. Do you know how much money sci-fi makes off those?
The last
And they-
Sharknado came out in 2018. The last Sharknado, it's about time. Sharknado 3. Oh, hell no.
Yep.
Kidding
Still.
me? Heart of Sharkness?
Yep.
Oh my god, these are awesome.
Oh,
If you,
Whoever
if you
Created
recall,
the Sharknadoes. I really think they deserve a Nobel Peace Prize.
the creator of Sharknado also has Sharknado synced up with the Leprechaun franchise. If you recall that story.
I do recall that story.
Red Clover is an unofficial Leprechaun sequel And they do talk about a town that had that survived a Sharknado. And then years later, they actually reference the town that's in Red Clover in the first Sharknado movie.
Mhm.
It's one of the nearby towns.
Mhm.
So, yeah, it's canon. Leprechaun can totally just ride in on a Sharknado.
I'd like to think that's how Warwick Davis arrives from place to place. I would expect nothing less from that funky little guy.
Maybe it's one of those woulda, shoulda, coulda Leprechaun sequels that never happened.
If they were to bring it back, I only want it as a Sharknado Leprechaun crossover. No other way. I won't stand for it, personally.
Yeah.
2021 and 2022 is going to be the year that Sharknado comes back. It's been like 4 years. We haven't enough of 2021 going on where there's too much being released. Sharknado, this is a cry for help.
We need you, Sharknado.
Are you seriously digging in for ice?
I am, because I'm too lazy to get up to get a drink, and my throat is dry.
Here, I got some Chipotle sauce.
I'm not drinking Chipotle sauce.
Mm.
I'm not doing that.
Would you like me to get you a drink?
It's something. It might not be good, but it's something.
Don't turn into one of our coworkers who just reaches into the icebox and just shoves it in his mouth and walks away.
I feel like there's a story behind that that's not being told.
No, really, that's what he does.
Robert.
We have the ice maker. He just opens the lid and just starts shoving it in his mouth like, "Oh, you're so good," and then just walks away.
Oh man!
I was like, that means you have an iron deficiency, right? And he's like, "No, I don't know what you're talking about," and just shoves another piece of ice in his mouth and walks away. It's not like the
sounds
ice
like work is going well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
yeah.
That's what you have to look forward to.
I mean, the kids tonight got really excited because we brought in a retro boombox that had Bluetooth on it.
It's like a re-release of like the retro style.
Oh, okay.
And it's like enabled for Bluetooth and everything.
It has a tape deck.
Oh, so you can pair your phone with it and it'll be in the boombox, but you're not popping in CDs.
Oh no, it's a tape
Oh no,
deck.
no, it has a thing for cassettes as well.
Cassettes. Wow.
Cassettes. Where it's at.
And you can record on it, so you can make your mix tracks on them.
So when you enter the music industry.
He actually, somebody did say they're like, "Yeah, I'm gonna go buy some blank cassettes and make a mixtape on this." I'm like, "Where are you gonna get this?" Amazon. I'm like, "Well, no, isn't it better just to find it in a store? It's more of a hunt that way."
Yeah, you gotta go to your old record shops around town. Really hunt it. Go to your old broken down Radio Shack that's somehow still open.
We don't have a Radio Shack here.
We don't. Not
No,
anymore.
wait, no,
Radio
yes we
Shack.
do.
No, we don't.
Yes, we do.
No, we don't.
It's right behind the Home Depot.
No.
Yes.
No, it's not.
Oh wait, that's right. It turned into an insurance company. Anyway, I think they work for Cutco.
Oh my gosh.
A wisp of a mystery.
No, actually, I'm pretty sure we still have a Radio Shack here.
No, we do not. We had one in the mall.
And then we had one.
And
by
then
the
it became the weird quinceanera store.
I know, but
With all those
I'm more
big
interested
ball
in hearing
dresses.
about the weird quinceanera store. So is it like one of those stores where they sell like the gypsy wedding dresses?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. Yeah. I went in there one time because my friend actually was having her quinceanera. And I went in there with her. And I remember it was a bunch of teenage girls, a bunch of their moms, and then like 30 and 40-year-old men checking out like 14-year-old girls. And I remember I walked in there and I immediately felt so uncomfortable. Like the way these men were leering at these girls, including myself, was very awkward. And I was like, oh God. And I overheard one of them talking about the girl becoming a woman. And I was like, nope. That's not happening.
No, ma'am.
Wait,
Not a fan of that.
You're right. What the hell?
I told you we don't have one anymore.
It still shows up on maps, but it says permanently closed.
Yeah, we don't have them.
Those bastards. Where is the nearest one then?
I don't know. We have
Oh my
we have like the
God.
superstores, and then we've got like Best Buy. Best Buy is probably our safest bet for like electronics. If you can't get something at like Target or Walmart or something like that, then Best Buy. Either that, or you're probably going to have to do Amazon or drive out of ways to Fry's in Indianapolis. Fry's is a solid electronics store as well.
I've heard good things about Fry's. Yeah.
We got our projector and our sound system from there.
Oh, right on. Okay.
And they do like the whole price comparison and everything. The same thing as like Amazon and all that. So
Hey, I found
We
the nearest
had-
one.
Disc Replay around here, and it's very similar, but it's like a electronics resale store.
Yeah, we have
we
those.
got that too.
consignment shop. Yeah.
But like I was just thinking, because like Disc Replay, it's like resale stuff, and like they don't necessarily have like stock.
Mhm.
It's like hit or miss with Disc Replay, although you can find some really solid things there.
It depends on where you go and how lucky you are on the day that you go in. It's like going to like a thrift store.
I follow our Disc Replay on Instagram,
Mhm.
and they always post whenever they get like obscure horror movies or anything.
Ooh.
So I went in there and I got what is it? It's like a really weird giallo horror movie,
Mhm.
and it's Strip Nude for Your Killer,
Yep.
and it's like the weirdest
Hello?
thing ever, and it's kind of amazing at the same time.
That sounds.
It's so weird, and like
It sounds like a total find. That's for sure.
that's also where I first became aware of Microwave Massacre,
Mm-hmm.
which
Another one of those hidden gems.
Microwave Massacre actually stars the voice actor who does the voice work for Frosty the Snowman.
Of course.
And
That makes sense.
that's just his voice.
That's just how
not
he
like
sounds.
a character voice at all. And it's really awkward when you take all of the audio from Microwave Massacre and then you put it over Frosty the Snowman.
Frosty the Snowman.
And he's talking about, screwing some really nice people and then
Mhm.
eating them.
As
It's so
Frosty.
awkward.
Okay.
As Frosty, man. You can't get any more nightmare than that.
The nearest Radio Shack is between Weston and Forest, Illinois. It's 2.5 hours
Another
away.
state. There's not a single one in the state of Indiana.
There's
Is that what
a
you're saying?
dealer, but you have to be a dealer to go there.
To be a dealer.
Radio Shack dealer.
Oh wow.
What does that mean?
That means
What are they dealing?
Radio Shack supplies. What do you think?
Radio Shack supplies.
The secret stuff.
Dude, I remember way back when you could buy like your phone plan and everything from Radio Shack.
I remember going into like I never ordered it from there, but like where you go in there and like they would totally just pitch that phone plan to you, and you'd be getting like batteries or something. They'd be like, "Hey, by the way," and I'm like, "Whoa, what is this conversation?" You know? I don't know, before my sister and I had cell phones, we had walkie-talkies. And
There you
they
go.
had it was like a 5 or 6 mile radius. So it was a good walkie-talkie. And we got them from Radio Shack. I remember going and walking around the Radio Shack because they wanted to test it in store before we left with it. So like my sister and I being on opposite sides of the Radio Shack talking to each other on the walkie-talkies. That's just something you'll never get back.
I tried buying a CB radio from Radio Shack.
That sounds like fun.
Yeah.
I would love to befriend truckers.
Learn their lingo.
God, they seem like such cool people, like very free spirits.
We need to review Joyride at some point. The Joyride series. There's 3 of them.
I'm down for that.
Yeah.
Candy Cane. Rusty Nail and Candy Cane.
Wait, whatever happened to Circuit City?
I think they like were bought out or sold out or something. They went out of business.
I don't know. I just remember buying my first TV from there. That big old thing. It was the thing because I had a 32-inch.
Back when TVs were still expensive.
It was a tube TV as well.
A tube TV.
Yeah.
I'm dating myself here in like a very flattering way.
The big box TVs.
Oh, that's what they were called.
Before
Okay.
like flat screens.
No, I
'cause
know
they
what
had-
you're talking
They
about.
had
Yes.
tubes inside and
I
everything.
never knew that's what they were called. I knew about like I had the chunkier TV. I just didn't know why they were. So
Like you had like tube TVs and you had rear projection TVs.
Oh my god, I know I know exactly what you guys are talking about. And like you touch them and you could feel the static on the screen.
If you got too close to them,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yep.
Or if you or if you had to replace the bulb, you had to take the entire screen off in order to replace one bulb.
And like it was very round, it protruded out.
And
They always they always looked ugly too. They had like gray or black, and then it was like plastic.
Yep.
Yep.
Good time.
I know exactly. Yep. I used to have one of those when I was really young. I remember watching it. I don't remember whatever happened to it.
One thing I do miss is tube radios.
Yeah.
Yeah. You actually had to turn it on, wait for 10 minutes for the tube to warm up, but then you could literally get a radio signal from almost anywhere.
It is kind of cool. I do like that. You know, as someone who's worked in radio for a little bit, it's really neat to follow the history of radio broadcast and understand where it came from and how it originated, or not even originated, but how it has evolved over the eras. I just miss the transatlantic accent. I think we should bring back fireside chats, and I want to hear someone speak to me in a transatlantic accent. I don't care. It's all I want.
Or during certain parts of the day, you could get a broadcast from like Paris if it was bouncing off the atmosphere, right?
Oh, please. Yes.
Yeah, that shit was fun. I'm really dating myself. You're just like, what the hell are you even talking
You
about?
lost me.
There were big glass tubes that would pick up signals. And you had to be very, very, very precise on where you were tuning into to hear it.
It was very, very specific in the channeling of the radio.
Like if you moved it a hair, you get like totally different broadcast.
Yep. You're not wrong about that. I had a little TV, my first ever little TV. It was white. It had a VHS player built into it, and I don't know how I did this, but I hit the volume button and it like popped in, and then I couldn't get it to come out. So if I wanted to make the volume go down at all, then I had to hit it all the way up, and then it would like cycle back to the very beginning.
Really?
Yeah. Old school, like late 90s personal television. The screen was like this big. Oh yeah. Pissed my mom off no end.
Well, as soon as you get your own DVD player, who could stop you? You know, it's up to you.
I think I bought a PS2. And that was my first DVD player.
I love PS. The PS2 has such great games. Sly Cooper.
Yeah.
See, I miss the retrofit for the PS3 because you could play all the old ones.
That was
Yeah.
For 1, 2, and 3.
Those were jailbroke.
It was they had a retrofit one.
They did, but the other ones that like the one I had was jailbroke, where if I sent it in for repairs, they would not give it back.
We still have it.
Yeah.
It kept like overheating for some reason.
Yeah. I can't send it
For
in because
shame.
I can't get it back.
However, thankfully, they did the one of the big games that I really wanted it for was for like the older Spyro games.
Mhm.
And then they just like re-released the reignited trilogy of Spyro.
Spyro, man. How
Which
can you
is-
remake Spyro?
Glitchy. It's just as glitchy, which is fantastic. They kept the glitches in, so you still get like stuck in like the wall. And you just see like his wing flapping and you're stuck there.
Yeah.
Greatest glitches of all time. You can get stuck on top of a sheep in one of the levels and not be able to leave.
A sheep?
On top of the sheep, like the sheep that you
The
actually
sheep?
hunt,
Yeah.
get like butterflies for Spark. Yeah.
Oh wait, didn't GameStop have candle burnt sheep?
Mm-hmm. They did. For the Spyro trilogy, yeah. They actually had a burnt sheep smelling candle. And I was like, so what does burnt sheep smell like? And the person just popped it off and was like, smell it.
There you go.
Smelled horrible.
What else did you expect that to smell like?
It smelled like burnt cotton, which totally makes sense.
That totally makes sense. I don't know what I expect.
Burnt
I never
cotton.
want to smell like a legitimate burnt sheep,
It's just like when Harry
but I
Potter
can
came
taste
out with
the
those
smell of
flavored.
burning cotton.
What were
The Every Bots flavored beans or whatever.
they?
You know what I'm talking about, right? Where Harry Potter had all the jelly beans.
Yeah.
I do know what you're talking. The everything flavor beans.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
I know exactly, but oh my god, it'd come with the nastiest flavors too.
I had vomit once. It was horrifying.
Tasty.
It's horrifying.
Tasty.
No, I'm just totally messing
And
with
like
you.
the grass one.
I don't know. Coming from you, I don't know.
Here's my thing.
Okay, the one that tastes like grass, it did taste like grass because I fell off my bike a lot as
So-
a kid.
So you
Every,
ate, yeah.
every single one of those tasted like what they tasted like. My question is, who taste tested vomit
Who hasn't?
who taste tested it in order to be like, yeah, that's right. This jelly bean works. Like I know they reference it like in the film and in the book and everything, but who actually sat down and taste tested jelly beans to make sure it tasted like vomit? Who actually thought that was a good idea?
Here's your NDA. You do not talk about this.
You do not talk about it.
What? Okay, that guy must have got a fat paycheck. If
Nope.
that's his job.
Nope. You guaranteed it was a. It was a. What are those groups called? Where it just does. They just do things?
Focus group.
Yes. It was a focus group. You have to be honest about that one. They're not going to pay anybody to know that it tastes like shit.
No, you get paid to be in a focus group. It's normally like a
Yeah,
flat
that's
rate.
part of the focus group.
Like here is your check for $200. You will sit in this room for an hour and taste test these things and tell us your ideas, like
Yeah.
your thoughts. Like that's
That's
the
legitimate.
focus group. You know?
I guess I was a part of the wrong groups.
Yeah. For shame.
Anyway. It's what I get for falling off cliffs.
Yeah, it all
The first
comes.
two the first two I fell off of, the last one I jumped off of.
That sounds like a you problem.
Well, I was wearing a life jacket. I was fine.
Gosh.
Every time I was wearing a life jacket.
Hmm.
And he's just like, wait, what?
The more I learn about you, The more everything comes together and makes sense.
I don't know if that's a good thing or bad thing, but okay. Quit throwing stuff.
I'm not meaning to.
Oh no, please don't put those on. You're gonna give me a nightmare. Especially with that. Dear Lord, save me. You need to get closer to the screen for this one. And he's just ignoring you. She's not even putting eye contact on you.
I love that.
Hi, Annie. Oh, it gets better.
Where did you find him?
I found them at Target. You know that like annoying dollar section that has
The
like
annoying dollar
everything.
section.
No. It has everything that you never
The
thought
dollar
you needed,
section
but
of
they're
Target
all
is
very essential. And then you end up going into Target for one thing, and you walk out spending like $40, not knowing what you spent it on, and it's all really like very essential dollar section things like this.
that is quite essential. I think that you made a life or death purchase there.
Ugh.
They can fight each other.
They can. This is better than Godzilla versus Kong. I would rather watch cats' hand puppets fight each other than I would watch the next Godzilla movie.
Oh my god.
If only those hand puppets could get us out of tickets. We should try it next time.
I don't think it's gonna work. What is it? I saw a meme earlier on Instagram that I thought was the funniest thing ever. It was actually referencing the Godzilla King Kong thing. Oh, okay, here it is.
Were there any
Okay.
sport like any
So it's
They're not gonna be able
PC's
to-
hardware, an unresponsive program. So Godzilla's PC's hardware, unresponsive program is King Kong, and then it's Task Manager, and it's that little like the meme of the corgi holding a bat,
Mhm.
and you just see both Godzilla and King Kong booking it to get away.
You know that he's gonna go to horny jail, dog. It's better than the both of them. Oh
I'm gonna hit him.
God.
Oh gosh. All right. So we've been at this for about 2 hours.
No. We still have an hour.
Oh,
We still have an hour.
what are we gonna talk about for another hour?
So there's one time I tried getting out of a speeding ticket.
Oh God. I don't want to know.
The
Mark,
officer
what
was-
is it?
I just started trying to
Did
slow.
you get the one straight officer?
Yes, it did. I started trying to take my shirt off, and he's like, "Son, what are you doing?" It's like, "I'm trying to get out of this ticket. Is it working?" No, it's not. Put your shirt back down. It's like, okay, fine. Should have been arrested for it, but I never was.
Shoulda, woulda,
You know
coulda.
what? You got by. Good for you.
No, he was definitely straight. Oh wait, yeah. Yeah, you're right. Definitely got by.
Man.
Oh.
Men who pop off their shirts with full respect to you, Mark, in public places have so much confidence. But sometimes that confidence isn't like what gives you the right?
There is no right. It's just you have to look at it sometimes. Be like, oh my gosh, why? What are you doing? It's like, don't ask questions. It's only
I
as
remember
awkward
like
as you make
even
it.
over the summer, I was out with a bunch of friends and we went to you guys know like the sunflower field mazes? Like the corn mazes,
Yeah,
but it's
yeah,
sunflowers. We went to one of those because I'm like, this is so cute. We should go, and it's like pandemic friendly. And we went, and it was a lot of fun. I remember like we were leaving, and this guy was hanging out with his girlfriend, and they were open, like you know when a couple is being very openly obnoxious in public. They were
Like
doing
grab
that, and this guy goes in front of the sunflowers, and he just pops his shirt off, and like throws it on the ground and keeps walking.
Okay. And
And would you like to justify that?
It depends. Was he allowed to have his shirt off?
I mean, I'm not. Nobody stopped him, but there was
No. There's a difference. Is it like Wolfman or is it Channing Tatum?
Neither. He's smooth, but not appealing.
Was he a beanpole?
No, he was like an average height guy too.
Yeah. So then, no, he did not have a right to have her shirt off.
He was littering.
He was littering.
He was littering.
Nobody asked for that.
For shame. The sunflowers deserve the sun.
Sunflowers closed up and they shriveled.
Because they saw his form.
They had to. And so did they.
Okay, I don't take my shirt off in public that often. Only when
Okay, but like there are places and there are times.
Yeah.
like in the middle of the mall, definitely not.
Like
In the middle of the mall, that's a gutsy move.
Well, no pun intended.
If you're at the beach, you expect to see a bunch of guys with their shirts off.
No. I expect to
would
see a
be-
bunch of guys in shorts with their shirts off. Hopefully in shorts.
If you're like, we'll say at a big like race or something, you expect to see a bunch of guys rip their shirts off as soon as they get done with the race or something because they're hot. They're
Or even
overheating
if
at
they're
that point.
running and they like take, during marathons, people can go to the side, get a drink, and then like take their shirt off or something. Yeah.
But like,
But see,
you
that's what I
don't
mean.
expect that in like big events. You don't expect that in like public settings just for the heck of it, you know?
I grew up in Indiana.
There are times and there are places, and this was
I grew up
neither.
in Indiana, but I think a lot of people from Indiana are very annoying.
That's true.
At least you're self-aware.
I'm fully aware.
Like I know people from Indiana are either really obnoxious or hate Indiana, and there's no in between.
There's an in between.
Can you confirm?
Can confirm.
Yeah, that's like the big stereotype that a lot of people from Indiana say is like people from Illinois don't know how to drive,
Oh my God, they don't.
which
Oh,
is
that's
true.
That's totally true.
And it's like
Nobody
they
in
come
Illinois-
here and they just like cut you off with
They-
like this much room left in between their vehicles.
City driving is a nightmare.
Where do you think I learned how to drive?
I think the funniest thing I saw in Chicago was two guys getting out of their car and fighting each other, like men that are clearly like in their 40s, fighting each other because one cut the other one off to
I thought you
get
were going to say over
ahead
a parking space.
and to get ahead to wait at a stoplight.
That's what it is. That is, if there was
They
something
need
that I
to
had
get
to
there at that
summarize
red light.
Illinois driving with, it would be that. Because that's what it like. I live in the suburbs. I'm about 45 minutes away from the city. So even though I'm fairly close to the city, the driving, it's just like as neurotic as going into the loop, or because people will speed up to get to the nearest light, and they will cut and dodge and weave in and out of different lanes to go nowhere fast. It is the definition of going nowhere fast because you're just screwed around and screw around.
No, you want to be the person who starts at the green light. You don't want to be stuck
That's
behind
exactly.
the curve.
It's like you guys know in Mario Kart when you're like starting up your car and you're holding down the
Yeah.
button to start the engine. That's what it's like because you're all going in the same place, and sometimes your engine just like fizzles out and gives out, and you look stupid. That's what it is. Illinois driving, especially now, now that everything is icy and very like dangerous, it's very unpredictable driving right now. I think that really brings in a lot of people in check, whereas there's a lot of consciousness going on. But once this warmer weather hits and everyone starts driving like lunatics, I will say that I am not the most. I can be reckless.
So you're not
behind the
patient.
wheel at times. If I'm by myself and I have my music going and I have an open road ahead of me, like I'll gun it. I'll be Vin Diesel and Fast and Furious, and I'll talk about family and then Gina Carano is gonna be next to me, and then
You live
I
a quarter
don't
mile
know,
at
we'll
a
go to
time.
space or something. But
And he
yeah,
lives a quarter mile at a time.
Lives her life quarter a mile at a time.
yep.
It's okay. I'm also the person who taught my younger sister how to drift.
Yep.
I also taught her how to do donuts in a front wheel drive car.
There you go.
You have to be
That's a
in
life
reverse.
skill.
Definitely in reverse.
You
Also,
gotta know how to drive.
you have to make sure that your trunk is at least weighted down with 100 pounds of whatever. Otherwise, you will roll the vehicle.
See, I didn't know that. Thank you.
Well,
I'm
yeah,
not gonna go out and try this, but it's a fun. That's nice to
Look,
know.
If you go to try this, go to your store, get yourself some kitty litter.
Weigh it on your trunk. Otherwise, it won't work.
Kitty litter solves everything.
Yep.
Is this like
Also-
when Chad tried to sell kitty litter at the furry convention?
Oh, no, he definitely did. It's also just like, speaking of shirts coming off in random places, anytime you want to try to fight Chad, he takes his pants off.
No, he only fights naked.
Okay.
He said he only fights naked. And I can tell you on more than one occasion, I've been out with that man and something will happen. Someone will be trying to pick a fight. Someone will do something sideways. And no matter who's involved, Chad intervenes and finds himself right there in the middle of it.
And somehow
And-
the belt starts coming undone. It's like, oh, no,
He always ends up with his shirt off and then he's undoing his belt and his pants.
Sounds like Chad
Downtown
has something else
Baltimore.
in mind besides fighting. That's what you guys are trying to put across
He
here.
always says, he's like, you want to fight? He's like, let's fight. And he just starts unbuckling. Oh God. I had to stop him. He was standing in his boxers,
in the middle of Baltimore.
downtown Baltimore, ready to fight this guy. And I was like, oh God, Chad, just keep your clothes on, please.
Chris Barrett, congratulations. Your top speed. 110? That's
Okay.
cool.
There you go.
Very
Quite-
cool.
That's quite
Thank you for
achievable.
sharing.
I'm
Isn't
sure-
that bad? Fast and Furious.
It's still probably not as bad as my speeding ticket. I think I've talked about it before.
Yeah, that was expensive.
Yeah. Yeah.
I think I did talk about it, haven't I?
You have.
Yeah. Still not the fastest I've been, though. Anyway. But yeah, reckless driving. Don't I recklessly drive every day?
No.
No. Oh, that's right. Only when listening to classical music.
That's when it kicks in, though. That's when your adrenaline kicks in, because if there's trap music and classical music.
No.
Those are
like,
the only two genres of driving music.
that is true. Definitely like throw on your Mozart and you're gonna be like in the zone.
Yeah, I feel you there.
I listened to The Weeknd in speed.
Did you like the Weeknd's halftime show?
It was really weird.
It was weird. I felt like I was trying
He
to watch
looked lost.
Michael Jackson impression.
He kind of looked scared.
He did do a nod to Michael Jackson into the
He did
halftime
a-
show.
Yes, he did.
But at the same time, I was like, holy shit, who the fuck roofied my drink? What is going on here? I thought I was on something, literally.
It
And I was
looked
like,
so weird.
that was very trippy. Yeah. Whether he did that on purpose or not, I don't know. But why
I mean,
spend
for someone carrying the halftime show by themselves, like as a, without any surprise artists or guests, where you have to take that entire 15 minutes or half an hour, whatever it is, to perform and make
He did
sure
like
it
a
works.
half hour, yeah.
What is it, 15 minutes, half hour?
I think he did like a 15-20 minute show.
15, 20 minute set? I'm not sure how long those sets are, but that's a lot of pressure to put on one person. It was definitely bizarre. It was very strange looking. It was a really weird theme. I kind of stopped paying attention at one point.
Yeah.
He just looked scared.
He did look very confused.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I do
So,
like his music though. I think he's got a solid sound, and I like a lot of his stuff. He's not someone I'll go out of my way to listen to, But if the weekend's on, I'll listen to him.
I don't know. I just always end up turning it up when it's on.
I think eventually on this show, Is It That Bad? We should review all of the Fast and Furious.
I would be down for that. I really want to make fun of the Fast and Furious.
All 9 of them.
Please.
More. There's
Can we
more?
do a Fast and Furious countdown to the 9th?
No, I think actually
Or the
there's more.
10th.
There's
whatever
more.
it is.
You also have like Tokyo Drift, and you've got the Hobbs and Shaw.
Oh,
my
that's
God.
right.
Yeah,
They're all tied in.
yeah.
Mark, are you regretting it?
There's so many. I'm not regretting anything. No regrets.
I'm down to go through.
But let's be
All
honest
11.
here. If we're gonna do Is It That Bad, we also have to look at Torque, the Fast and
That's
Furious
right.
ripoff movie about
Yes.
bikes.
I would rather look at the Fast and Furious ripoffs than I would the actual Fast and Furious.
Red Line. Yeah, that was a ripoff.
What is it? I saw a commercial for an old horror movie that's the Vampire's Motorcycle.
Oh yeah.
And it's a motorcycle that kills anyone who's like associated with its rider, and it like attacks his girlfriend and like maims people, and it's powered off blood. And like the person keeps driving around this motorcycle and not understanding why all these people are just dead everywhere with tire marks on them.
I like that. It's kind of like Rubber. I know we talked about it
Yes.
a couple of times on the show. And that's what I definitely want to get around to at some time, whenever I'm down to watch it, because it's just it's so ludicrous.
But it's fantastic. Luda. Let's go full circle with all this Fast and Furious. Luda. Fast and Furious 2
God.
on Ludicrous.
Oh, Fast and Furious.
Oh my gosh.
All right, guys. I don't know about
it's fun.
Is
It's
I'm
that
a
time.
babe.
Is
I'm
it
a
that
Alright.
bad?
babe.
I'm not
next
offended.
week. We are covering Mark's Choice.
Dude,
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 bro, party.
Bro Party 3.
Massacre 3. Right?
Yep. I mean, if I got this right.
It's a mouthful. It's a lot to say there. Dude,
There's a
bro,
lot going
party,
on.
Massacre 3.
But it'll be. It's a movie for sure.
It's
That's what
something.
It
Dude,
sure.
bro, party master free. Yep.
It's definitely something.
Sure.
Something.
All right, guys.
All right.
Until next week with another fantastic or fantastically bad horror movie.
Probably the second part.
Probably, yeah.
We'll be here.
Well, actually,
You know where to find us.
Same bat time, same bat place.
Same Bat family. All right.
Wait. Also, you need to look up Flubber, the horror.
I love Flubber.
No.
No. Flubber, somebody cut it to be a horror movie promo.
Okay.
It's the greatest thing ever.
It is.
That's the first thing I'm going to do tomorrow. Or tonight. Yeah, tomorrow. It's still 11. All right.
Tomorrow, as in right now, because it's
Tomorrow as in right now.
12:33 a.m. here. Bye, hun.
All right, folks.
Bye.
Bye, Chris.
Bye.
Anyone
Bye,
else is
Chris.
still in the chat?
Thanks for sticking it out, Chris. We will see you next week.
Or everybody on Facebook and all that other stuff.
Yeah.
And